guys, I mean, you mentioned it, Boone. They got to bring someone in. Well, the Lions are bringing someone in. Free agent corner. This is per Aaron Wilson, NFL free agent corner. Is it Tavierre?
Tavierre.
Of course it is.
Tavierre Thomas.
Tavierre. You know what, guys? I don't even want him anymore. No, I'm just kidding. Tavierre Thomas is visiting the Lions, his hometown team today. Today, per a league source, played the past 2 seasons. It was successful with Texans. Thomas was a Division II All-American at Ferris State, played high school football at Allen Academy in Detroit. Well, I mean, Lucas, like, this is your bag. I mean, let's be real. Yeah. The only experience I have of him, I've seen him around, but like, who is this guy? Who is this guy?
He's a cornerback 3. He's a Marcus Davenport of corner, a nickelback specifically. I think the Lions do need that because you look, if Brian Branch, if they're going to use him at safety, something happens to him during the season injury-wise, you want Cam Sutton on the outside compared to Branch, but then if something happens to Sutton as well, you're going to need depth there. You have Amik Robinson, but cornerback is one of the most banged up positions in football. The more depth they add to this cornerback room that is not Kindle Vildor, I will take it. He's not the greatest. He's not going to come in and compete for a starting spot. He's probably going to be one of those guys that every now and then gets bumped down from the active roster, bumped right back up. He's going to be moving, but I think he's a body that you bring in for camp for competition. And I don't think it's necessarily that it's a lock to sign him by any means, but it's depth. So with the cornerback room, are we going to complain about depth? No, but at the same time, this guy's not anybody that we should be pounding the table to sign like DJ. We don't let him leave the building.
I've got something to pick with you, and this is a friendly like hold my boy accountable here real quick. And it's only because as a friend, Lucas, I love you. You just said he is the Marcus Davenport of corners to have depth in that room, and you would love him to be here for depth. But yesterday you were like, I don't want Marcus Davenport in here for depth. We could.
No. Listen, the thing is, my whole thing with
Marcus Davenport. I don't like Let's go. Bring that boy home.
Like Come on. Player that Marcus Davenport is. I don't like the fact that Marcus Davenport has been in the league for X amount of years, and over the last 2 seasons has 2.5 sacks. Like Tavierre Thomas is going to be not $6.5 million, and people are over here acting like Marcus Davenport. Not you guys, but there are people that'll go out there and say Marcus Davenport. He's going to be starting right along Ali McNeil, DJ Reader, Aiden Hutchinson. Watch out. Nobody's saying that.
No. None of us are saying that. None of us are saying that. We're saying depth.
I just said that before I went into that statement. I just said that. My saying is, if you look on Twitter and all these things, you see people that are saying that, and I'm trying to be real with the people that if you tune in and you watch it and you're seeing these things on social media where people are hyping up Marcus Davenport, relax. If people are hyping up Tavierre Thomas, I would come in here and say, relax, because they're great.
I'm just making sure. I'm glad we got that statement out of you. I just wanted the statement. That's all. Thank you, Lucas. I just wanted that statement because if you did, I'm going to tell you what, if you did it in your original thing there, mention Marcus Davenport with depth and Tavierre Thomas, I would have left that alone, but
No, I want edge on the defensive line, but I have, like I brought it up yesterday, I have been one to clown Marcus Davenport for 2 to 3 seasons. Just because he signs for the Detroit Lions, I'm not going to switch and be like, oh, you know what? I love Marcus Davenport. Like I've never liked Marcus Davenport, never been a Marcus Davenport guy. The Lions signed him. Hopefully he can prove me wrong. I don't see it happening, so that's my take. Tavierre Thomas, I've never been like a Tavierre Thomas fan. I've never been a hater, but it is what it is. He's a CB 3 to 4 to even 5. Like Emmanuel Mosley could be playing over him if they signed him.
Do you know what I told you boys before the show here? Chase Lucas signed to the San Francisco 49ers. They brought in Tavierre Thomas to kind of fill that void. And it's like Chase Lucas did play a good amount. It's not like he sat on the bench. He played, and it's the depth of corner. I'm with you a little bit, Lucas. I don't think he's going to sit here and be like a big time piece. He's going to play a ton of snaps. You have the depth. I think it's like a Chase Lucas to where he leaves, certain your depth pieces leave. You need some people to be able to kind of withstand injuries and withstand stuff. He's a guy that can do that for you. I don't think it's like oh my gosh, Tavierre Thomas, boys. Let's go.
I know.
Shout out though, D2, Saginaw Valley, Ferris State. We had a little back and forth. Shout out to boys, man.
Yeah, if I'm being real, like I I didn't know who this was. I mean, I'll
Wow.
put it. Hey, well, I did because I saw him on Madden Franchise, but that's a whole nother topic. I think Tavierre Thomas. No disrespect, I'm sure he's a fine NFL player. He's
Fine
he
player.
He made it to the league. By the way, in all seriousness, like jokes aside, I checked some of his grades and I watched a little bit of his tape. I was like, who? Because seriously, I was like, I got to educate myself on Tavierre Thomas. I didn't know who it was. He's not bad in coverage. He's not like he's not going to come in and be one of your two best corners. But to like kind of Lucas's point about it, he's somebody that, let's say you sustain an injury, I would feel more comfortable about Tavierre Thomas with his experience than maybe a Chase Lucas. That's kind of where I came from it, which I'm cool with it. I mean,
he's actually serviceable on
bring in
defense.
Tavierre Thomas.
Yeah, and to Booner's point, he's probably going to be more of like a special teams guy and just depth guy. It's not like you're going to be seeing him every down by any means. So it's just mostly special teams. So you really can't hate it, can't love it. It's just whatever.
Yeah, it's a big nothing burger. I mean, I mean, watch this be clipped, and he like comes out.
Just balls out.
Yeah.
Shout out if he does. He did.
I just need to shot somewhere else.
Yeah,
he's played a lot of football. Like if you look at it, and I remember when he was with the Browns, because obviously, like I follow him a little bit because he went to Ferris, so I was a little familiar with him, and it was around the same time as well that I was at Saginaw and left Saginaw. So like I was out. I'm gonna stay familiar here. I'm sure some people I know kind of knew him as well in that conference. So I've seen him play a little bit, and then I don't think he had that bad of a couple seasons when he was with the Texans either. So I don't think it's like he's like a terrible player, but he's gonna be a good piece, especially if you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Like if your depth pieces go from like here to here, that's good. Like if you upgrade depth pieces, that's like a good sign in my opinion.
So you're saying Tavierre Thomas is a Super Bowl winning move, Booner?
Do you want me to be honest with you? You want me to be honest?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Every single move Brad Holmes makes is a Super Bowl winning move.
Oh.
That's
a bar.
Every single move he makes is a Super Bowl move. Ever.
I mean,
I don't care
drafting
if it's
Levi Onwuzurike was a Super
Bowl
move.
You want to know why it's a Super Bowl move? He learned from the mistake, and now he's getting better from it.
Okay, that's
I get it, dude.
Brian Poles is doing the same thing. He just traded for Keenan Allen.
He's so good. He failed.
We're gonna have that conversation.
I mean, like, let's be real. That's how good Brad Holmes is. Yeah, I mean, Bonjay put it correctly. Any move Brad Holmes makes is part of the Booner path. Like, I think it's like, hey, we're gonna draft Levi and he's gonna stink, but like, there's intention to like get this right. It's all it's all coordinated.
It's all sprinkled in there.